going on, everybody? Hey, greetings. It's James. Back here on the internet. Know a lot of folks are doing like year-end reviews types of things. I didn't necessarily want to do that, but I thought I'd show some things that I did pick up this year in the like prog, heavy rock kind of category. And I just looked through and saw some things I picked up. Check this one out. This first one I'm going to show is Raw Power. Album is strange. It's Terry Brooks and Strange, and the name of the album is Raw Power. This has a legendary status. I knew of it, and I was in a store, and I was bullshitting with the guy that was flipping through next to me, and I picked up this and I looked at it, and I'm kind of intrigued. And this guy next to me, he'd already gained a lot of credibility in my head by his tastes and his opinions, and he just looked at me. He's like, "You got to get it." So I just went for it. And Terry Brooks is a guitar player. This has serious like 70s guitar hero workouts, psychedelic jamming, Hendrixian influences, of course. This is killer. This is on Psycho Records. I don't know if this is an original. I don't think so. Maybe it is. 1976. Terry Brooks and Strange, Raw Power. Yeah. That. Turn that down so you get a flavor of that one. Next one I picked up, or another one I picked up, is the Greek band Socrates Drank the Conium, and this is Take of Conium. I don't know exactly what year this came out. I'd been wanting this for many years and came across it. This is like a blues rock album that goes kind of toe to toe with any British or American blues rock. English vocals. There's no notes on here even. This is a Greek pressing, but there's no notes and not even a lineup listed. But really good blues rock. Socrates Drank the Conium on a polygram. Nice blues rock. There's this Terry Brooks and Strange. Another one that I picked up staying in Europe is the German band Ramses. And this is called La Layla on, this is on Sky Records. I think, it's 1975. This is very melodic, emotional compositions, English vocals, and it was produced by Coney Plank along with Klaus Hess of the German band Jane. And if you know Jane, they also have this very emotional, melodic quality of their music, so you can see the Jane influence in this one. Really, really nice album. So it has like a Jane, also like band Eloy, maybe some similarities to that, but really nice record. Ramses is the name of the band on Sky Records. I picked up a couple just throughout the year. I was stoked because I had been looking for records from the French band Pulsar, and I found these two. This is the one that specifically the one that I wanted. I think this might be their first. It's called Pollen. This is a French copy, And then the other one I found is one called Halloween, which is on, this is on CBS. I don't quite remember the years on these. I don't feel like looking these up. But Pulsar is really good. Very intricate compositions, excellent musicianship. I don't know, they sing in French mostly, and I know those are the song titles, but there's certainly like a fairies and demons and angels and King Arthur-ish kind of feel to it, where I feel like there's some of those kind of cliche, classic prog topics to this, but very well crafted compositions on these. Nice time changes and acoustic passages weaved throughout, with some rock elements in here too. Pulsar, the French band, was very, very stoked to find these in the wild, as the kids like to say. Pulsar, so yeah, Pulsar Pollen and Pulsar Halloween. Those are the two Pulsars I picked up. Here's interesting, not interesting, but it just goes to show how things can be misleading. I saw this in the store. This is Guru Guru. I didn't know about this album of theirs, and on the back it has this action shot, and it says Guru Guru in Paris, and the notes are in German. So just on that, I thought, maybe this is a live album. And I don't really look stuff up in the store. I like to just go for it and take chances. So I thought this was maybe a live album of theirs in Paris. It's not. There's 6 songs, but it's a comp of their first 2 albums. It's not as sort of psychedelic and jamming as like their UFO album, like the classic UFO, but it's still a really nice record and a flavor of their first 2 albums, which I wasn't familiar with. This is on Brain. It's on Brain, but and it says Brain 2001. I don't know quite what that is in terms of the output of Brain, but nice little record, and it was cheap, relatively speaking, with the prices. Another European pickup is this Spanish band called Attila. This is called The Beginning of the End, and this is on the Spanish Wawa label. This is live, I think in Barcelona. There's notes in here, can't quite remember, but this is an interesting lineup. It's keyboards, guitar, and drums. No vocals, long instrumentals, but not just frivolous jamming. There's a compositional quality to it, and it's live. It has like one of those, it seems a little far away live recordings, but it's still really good. And with the keyboard, the pillar of a keyboard in here versus the bass, it adds that quality to it, but it's a deep keyboard, almost organ sounding kind of a thing. Pretty cool record. I just went for this because I like stuff on the Wawa label, and just picked it up. So it's a nice Spanish group of musicians. Attila is that one. I found, they just reissued this year, and I never thought I'd find an old copy of it. This is the first Erkin Koray record, the Turkish musician, guitar player. This is on the Survival Research label out of, looks like Australia. So if you're familiar with Erkin Koray, it has that style of his later stuff too, where it's you know, rock based, but there's that Turkish influence too, you know, traditional Turkish you know, vibes to it as well. Some very, very beautiful music, not just the actual musicianship, but his singing. You know, I don't know what he's singing about. I don't know the language, but very beautiful vocal style too on Erkin Koray. Very, very, and this was a fairly inexpensive reissue. I think it was like 21 bucks. Okay. This one I don't actually, now I'm thinking about it, I probably didn't get this year. It might have been the year prior, but I want to break it out anyway, and some of you might know this. This is Sudden Death. So this was a American band out of Pasadena, California. They won a contest in 1972 of I know it was a record company or a radio station was looking for America's answer to Black Sabbath, and they won that contest. And I don't think this cover was not original at all. The record company or the reissue label just put this together. Definitely Sabbath influenced for sure, but they have their own compositional quality to it. There's the back. Really good. If you like that, you know, early, you know, before Doom was called Doom, this has a Doom quality to it. Very, really good songs, and it's heavy and dark, but there's also some slower passages, like some slower melancholy things to it. And that's the thing about a lot of you know, hard rock in the early to mid 70s. Bands, I feel, were a lot more versatile than they are now, where they could get heavy but also write contemplative, more like maybe pastoral types of things. But yeah, this is a really nice one, and it comes with this cool booklet with an interview with one of the members of Sudden Death. Long interview. He talks about the origins of the band and everything they went through. Sudden Death. Highly recommended if you like, you know, early 70s hard rock on the kind of doomier side of things. Very happy to find this Edgar Broughton band, Oorah. This is a copy on, this is the EMI Capital. It's not as heavy as earlier Edgar Broughton. I think this is 1975, or no, actually this is 1973, but I think this is their fourth album, or was their fourth album. It's not as heavy, but there's, it almost has like a, feels like a concept album. And you know, it reminds me a little bit of maybe some later era Kinks, not in the actual sound of the music, but the way the songs are constructed. But really, really good and very sophisticated for Edgar Broughton. Really, you know, interesting. I know that could be an overused term and it's nebulous, like what does interesting really mean? But very thoughtful album here, Edgar Broughton Band. Oorah, highly recommended. All these are highly recommended, right? Staying in Britain, this wasn't any particular order, is this one, this Stack Waddy, that I had seen around and finally went for it. This is was a British 4-piece and blues R&B infused, kind of like a barroom band. you know, when I first listened to this, I was thinking this almost feels like if Canned Heat, the band Canned Heat, it's almost like a nastier, snottier, grittier Canned Heat with that really gutsy, bluesy harmonica in here. Like for example, they do a version of Roadrunner. They do a Susie Q, Rolling Stone. It's mostly covers on here, but very gutsy, like a gutsy barroom band where they're just like kind of tearing the roof off, and you're, you know, spending time with friends, enjoying glasses of, you know, one bourbon, one scotch, one beer, and maybe three of them. Stack Waddy. This is killer. Nice thick spine on that too. I picked up a few from Gila, and I think they were. This is like a precursor. The members were precursors to Popol Vuh, I believe, and maybe another band too. This is an unreleased one at the time. This is a live record on the Garden of Delights label. Live, it's not a lot of vocals, very spacey, atmospheric jamming, maybe along the lines of like an Asherah Temple a little bit. Maybe it's in that pocket, but just a very atmospheric, sort of dreamy, spacey live record. I think, oh, this is live in Poland, Germany, 1972. And Garden of Delights, killer label. I love Garden Delights, but that's one. It's Gila Nightworks. And then the other one of theirs, sorry, my foot's falling asleep here, is this one. You know, most people probably know this one, Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee, Gila. And this is also on Garden Delights. And this one it's much different than the Nightworks. This is much more kind of pastoral and is closer to a feel of a Popol Vuh album. Yeah, that's the comparison I would make. There's not necessarily any, like, you know, electric guitar focus on here, but just a very very thoughtful and reflective record. Yeah, Gila, Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee. I picked up the reissue of Embryo Rock Session. I had seen the used copy of this years ago, and I don't know why I passed it up, because that's really hard to find, but I'm happy on this. This is on the Made in Germany label. Embryo was, you know, they did a lot of different things. This is, I think Rock Session is apropos because it has more of a, like a rock feel to it. But this is very notable because you have the legendary Mal Waldron on here too, and it's interesting the association, like how the hell did Mal Waldron hook up with this German progressive psychedelic band? And I think I've read this story in the past, but I don't know exactly. I can't remember the association, but it's an interesting association, and it shows you, like, you know, how cool of a guy was Mal Waldron, who was, you know, the guy was playing with, you know, Billie Holiday, and you know, he was open-minded enough to hang with these guys. Yeah, just a couple more to go. I picked up this one, and I know a lot of people have shown this. This is the Dom, Edge of Time, a German, you know, instrumental, spacey, you know, provocative, thought-inducing record. Just gorgeous record. This is certainly the ranks right up there with the kind of record that you turn on the lights, turn off the lights, and lay there and contemplate existence. At Dom, Edge of Time, it's you know, you float into eternity on this one. Dig this one a lot. Rewards repeated listenings. as some would say. And this is on the Somar Records label, which is a division of Gerson Records too. They put out a lot of amazing stuff. This is nice package. Dom, Edge of Time. That one. Just a couple more. This is Coronarius Dons, and the name of the album is Visitor. And this is on Inner City. Originally on Steeplechase. This is interesting because I don't know much. I never really found a record like a non-jazz record on Inner City or Steeplechase. But this is like a jazz rock fusion type of thing, and it's very, very good. The musicianship is top shelf on this, and this is probably most notable because the guitar player, Klaus Bowling, was the guitar player for the band Hurdy-Gurdy, and they have a great album. I have that in here too. If you know that album, I think they only had one album. It's just called Hurdy-Gurdy. Great, just instrumental, kind of progressive band. Yeah, and apparently, I mean, according to the notes, that's where Donovan got the name for the song Hurdy-Gurdy. And this is from 1976 was when this was released on originally on Steeplechase. Coronarius Dons. So if you like jazz rock fusion, look that up. And then the last one is not a recent pickup. I've had this for 6 or 7 years, but I wanted to show this to see if anyone knows much about this. This is Rolf Arkervik and Bizarre. And I can't pronounce that, but this is Norwegian musicians. And I just went for this when I found it, again, because it just looked interesting. And I've said this before, I don't believe in blind buys. There's always information you can add up, emotional information. And based on that typography and those black and white cover shots and the fact that it's 1973, and I'm thinking, okay, this is definitely, Scandinavian or Northern European or something. That all that information adds up to something compelling for me. Yeah. So does anyone know about this? But anyhow, this is like I did research it. So they're Norwegian musicians, and I thought this is like a Norwegian Grateful Dead. This sounds like, but better maybe. This sounds like early 70s Grateful Dead done by Norwegian musicians. So I'm sure some of you out there know what this is. Petri, you probably do. So yeah, that's it. A little run through of some progressive and heavier things I've picked up this year. Yeah, this might be my last appearance here on the internet for 2025, but hope everyone's doing well. Thanks for watching, and cheers. Take care. All right, later.